It's me again, J1, and welcome to Agency. As I mentioned earlier from the previous video, I put in the incorrect code, so please don't follow that one. Follow this new code that I will be showing you in today's video instead. You know why? The reason for this is that I already figured out the mistake that the car did not work or move at all. So that's why I had to change the code. In fact, it did not even respond to the old code I have made in the previous video. Additionally, I have not been finished with assembling all the parts of this project either, though I am nearly done building my car. You can see the wheels that are perfectly attached to the motors, but before that, we need to go over the code together in this video. So let's begin. Here I included these two libraries, AF motor, that's Adafruit motor, and software serial. So remember to install Adafruit motor shield library before uploading this code. And if you need help on how to install a library for the motor shield or how to use motor shield, then you might want to click on this link. But right now, what we want to do is to go over the entire code. Also, caution, remove the jumper or switch off the battery switch before connecting the Arduino board to computer. So now we're at software serial, Bluetooth serial 9,10. Okay, so this parameter right over here is the RX. RX means receiving, whereas here this is TX on that second parameter. TX is transmitting data. So RX is set to 9 and TX is set to 10. And here are the initial motor pin, right? So here you are initializing the first motor for the motor wheels generated inside the Arduino car. And this is for the second motor, and for the third motor, and lastly for the fourth motor. And here we got char command. So if you put in the commands inside this parentheses after the switch case block, you can run these cases where the car would move forward in case F, the car would move backwards in case B, the car would move to the left in case L, and R, inside case R, the car would move right. And if Bluetooth inside this void loop, if Bluetooth serial dot available is greater than 0, meaning it should be available, and 0 here means that the Bluetooth serial is not available. So the command reads the Bluetooth serial and takes the data and uses it. And here we have the stop method. If we don't have the stop method, then how will the car work? It will not, actually generate. It will not generate its movement. So let me explain this method, void forward. So for each motor, you got set speed to 255 and run forward. So for all motors, if you want the car to move forward, for every motor after setting the speed to 255, all of them should be set to forward. Basically, you're rotating the motor clockwise after you define the maximum velocity, which is 255. And then same goes for the back. You can just copy and paste, but remember, you want to switch the forward direction into a backward direction for all of these parameters. And then for the backwards, you just rotate the motor anti-clockwise. right? And then for void left, for the first two motors, you rotate the motor anti-clockwise, and then for the last two motors, you rotate the motor clockwise, right? Every beginning before you rotate, always set the speed to 255 so that you can define the maximum velocity. And then for void right, basically the same, except it's the opposite, right? First two motors forward, the last two motors 3 and 4, you set this parameter inside the run method backwards. Let's talk about this void stop method right here. Lastly, this is the last method of all. So you want to start with, set speed to 0. This means that the car is not moving at all. And if you set just like moving at a constant speed, like if you set the speed to 255, the car can go as much as this number or amounts. And then why is this release there? So release means that you stop the motor when you release the button, okay? And 0 is basically the minimum velocity. So same for motors 2, 3, and 4. I hope you understand the code well. Alright, now we're going to move on to finishing on assembling the rest of the parts that I haven't used and shown to you guys in the previous part of this series. In the section where we left off, let's attach this blue Adafruit motor shield on top of the Arduino Uno and make sure that you match the pins to the correct spot. Next, you want to place some kind of adhesive tape on these two spots on the bottom of this Uno board attached to the motor shield from the previous step. Then place this board facing right side up somewhere on the center of the car. Grab this first wire from the left and start connecting that wire to the bottom of motor number 2, which is located on the bottom left of the motor shield. Then take out a screwdriver to screw the nail in so that it tightens the grip inside the motor within the wire. Take the second wire, connect it to the second metallic squarish port, and then tighten up the circuit by using a screwdriver just like what you did in this previous step of connecting all the wires from the TT gear motors via the wheels and the Adafruit motor shield. As you move on to the next wire, repeat the same process until you get all of them. I will fast forward this video to speed things up a little, but you might actually want to slow yourself down if this is getting a little too hard for you. On the right side of this car, in my perspective, I would like to give you a few exceptions that some of the wires I have soldered were long enough to, reach these ports, because originally, like when I left them unsoldered, I was not able to, get it reached to, the port, and it fell off very easily. So when I try to screw drive that specific port, it keeps falling off sometimes. But remember to be careful with your soldering equipment because you could get damaged without adult supervision. Oh yeah, the good thing about these wires is that when your wires are too short, especially those from the right of your car, in that perspective, you could just tighten them up like by soldering these wires in the first place so that those wires don't have to get fallen off. But please don't try this home on your own because you could easily get hurt without getting accompanied by a parent. So it would be very ideal to do a solder training before you can get to the step of this project. I'm finishing this little bit of piece up here right now. And here I have my 4 batteries and a battery holder. And remember to place each battery onto the correct place of the battery holder, where the negative side goes on the spring, while the positive side goes up front, tightly holding the battery into the circuit. Next, you would want to place the battery holder behind the rear of the Adafruit motor shield and place the black wire into the GND area inside that shield. And then place the red wire into the left of the GND. Whoop. When you see the green light popping up, it means that your car might be able to move and function properly. Here I have my Bluetooth HC05 module. And first off, we are going to attach a female to female jumper wire into the VCC pin. Next, place another female to female jumper wire and attach it to the GND pin. The GND pin is where you activate the Bluetooth remote controller. Thirdly, you would want to put a third female to female jumper wire on the TXD pin. And lastly, you need to attach that fourth and last pin into the RXD pin. I'm going to be straightening up these wires and place them on the bottom right corner. The GND pin is indicated as the purple pin, so it will be placed on the center of the three pins on the top. This white pin will be placed on the right side of the GND pin, like what I shown in this section of this video. Now we are going to place the yellow pin on the left of the GND pin. And finally, we are going to place the gray pin onto the bottom left of the 6 pins. And on the final step, you want to verify this code and wait for it to compile correctly. And then you want to upload the code through the blue port into the Arduino Bluetooth car. Then you want to unplug the port from the Arduino Uno once the code has finished properly compiling.
So see, you can see this red light blinking on this module. That means your car will be connected to the app that you downloaded on your phone.
I will be showing you guys in the next video on moving my car with a Bluetooth remote controller downloaded on my phone. The link is in the description below if you want to get the app and experiment it. I'll see you guys in the next video.
So, why don't you guys try it out and see if your car can move the way it wants to.